It's funny when you realize something that you couldn't grasp before. We've all been given advice day in and day out of our whole lives. We've heard someone tell us the better way to live. And these bits of advice over time could be detrimental or they could be beneficial. The funny thing to me is when we feel bad if we don't take that advice and fail with our own navigational skills that at the time probably aren't the best, but I think the best thing is not the advisor who gave it to us, which should be appreciated in mind and heart, and maybe even if we tell them. The best thing about failing and realizing that advice was true, whatever it was, is the lesson that was learned in the process. I think the best way to live is to fail. I think the best way to live is by experience and learning. Why should we be given so much advice and take it all the time and live the safe way and never experience what failure means in order to learn a lesson at the heart instead of at surface level? I think experience through failure is one of the most beneficial things to our lives. It teaches us what works and does not work for us individually. The most amazing thing to me is when there is someone who is willing to give that advice. Advice is a beautiful thing. It's a teacher. The person who is the advisor and cares enough to say something in order to better our lives isn't there to change it instantaneously. And I think that's the concept we can't grasp in this day and age, is nothing is instantaneous. It's a process. Just as the trees grow from seed to root to the trunk to the sprout to a thriving tree bearing fruit is a process, as we are the same. And we are so hard on ourselves when we look back in time and realize that we took that wrong route in life and got us to the point where we are. But I have to say that is the best thing you can do for yourself. When we don't know something and we are eager to learn and to grow and to thrive, we must know first at heart level, not surface level, which is the mind. We must know in the core of us, our chest, our gut, the essential feeling of our being, what is best for us and what that truly means. Because that is when we truly find our way, not anyone else outside of us, but our way. We are not meant to live all the same lives. We are meant to be there for one another, but truly, we are meant to be ourselves and to give what we came here to give, not what they came here to give. We're supposed to be us. So taking advice and listening to it and remembering it when you didn't take their advice, when you lived a completely different way that someone had advised you to, let me just say thank you to that person who did. Not because I did it then, but because I understand now. And we don't have to understand everything right now. We live through it and we learn. And that is what patience is. And that is what I'm seeing right now. Sitting here, coming out of a huge storm of my own. Because I'm still in the storm, but I'm sitting in a calm place where I'm letting the storm run its course. We are not perfect human beings, so we must not treat ourselves as such. We are learning, and we come from where we come from. Very unique, different backgrounds. But we must give ourselves that space and that patience with ourselves, because this is where it's important. Our timeline does not run on anyone else but our own and who we take care of, like our children. Our timeline runs only on us, and if you do have children, our responsibilities, our own responsibilities are our own and nobody else's. But what a beautiful thing for someone to say something and you can look back at that better way of living that they told you to live and you didn't take it, but finally understand what that means, and it hits you right in the gut. There's nothing bad about that, nothing to regret, but a beautiful smile and an understanding. This is what that means, because that person at that time must have gone through something very tragic to get to that point too.